Hello, friends. After centuries of Roman expansion, where conquering new lands was basically an imperial hobby, someone finally asked the big question: should we maybe stop? Enter Hadrian, the bearded emperor with a traveler's heart and a builder's brain. Unlike his predecessors, Hadrian wasn't interested in stretching Rome's borders thinner than a senator's patience during a 3-hour speech. Instead, he focused on protecting what the empire already had: a revolutionary idea. And nowhere was this mindset more literal than in Britannia, that misty wild land filled with Celtic tribes, unpredictable weather, and not much interest in being Roman. After a few too many battles with rebellious tribes to the north, Hadrian said, "Enough. If Rome couldn't civilize the barbarians, it could certainly wall them out." Thus began one of the greatest construction projects of the ancient world, Hadrian's Wall. Stretching about 73 miles, that's 117 kilometers for our metric-minded friends, across the narrowest part of northern Britain, the wall was a massive statement. This far and no further. Built from stone and turf, the wall wasn't just a pile of rocks. It was a full-on military complex. There were forts every mile, watchtowers, garrisons, gates, and even small towns where soldiers could relax after a hard day of squinting at the horizon and arguing about who had the worst posting. Fun fact, one ancient Roman report from a British outpost basically reads, "Cold, wet, miserable. Please send socks." Not quite what the recruiters promised back in sunny Rome. Hadrian's Wall served multiple purposes. It was a physical barrier, a psychological warning, and a highly visible tax checkpoint. Anyone who wanted to cross into Roman territory, whether they were traders, travelers, or that guy trying to sell suspiciously cheap wool, had to go through strict inspections. And Hadrian didn't just stop at Britain. Across the empire, he ordered the strengthening of borders, the construction of forts, and improvements in military roads. He even redrew frontiers to make them more defensible, choosing sensible lines like rivers, deserts, and mountain ranges, natural barriers where walls didn't have to be built. Hadrian was the emperor who realized that an empire isn't great because it stretches endlessly. It's great because it endures. Under his watch, the Roman Empire settled into a golden age of relative peace and prosperity, where soldiers defended borders instead of chasing dreams of endless conquest. Today, Hadrian's Wall still stands in parts of Britain, a rugged, poetic reminder of a time when Rome said, "We've got enough, thank you." And if you ever walk along its ruins, with the wind in your hair and the moors stretching out endlessly, you might just hear echoes of the Roman soldiers grumbling about the cold and the proud, steady voice of an emperor who knew when to build instead of break. But even as walls rose across the empire, within the heart of Rome, another great figure was preparing to leave his mark, not with stone, but with words, wisdom, and war. Next time, we'll meet the emperor who ruled with a philosopher's soul and a general's sword. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. Get ready for a journey into the mind of one of history's deepest thinkers.